Sarah and Robbie will then be able to question Frida. And following that, you can both sum up briefly. And then once we've, tied that up, we will then be able to open up the floor to questions from the room. Welcome, Frida. So if you're okay and you're ready to crack on, we'll hand over to you.
Right. Well, you said that this was a motion. It's not really a motion. My statement, trans women, is a provocation, because I know when I say that in certain spaces, it provokes a reaction. And the reason it provokes a reaction is because lots of people have got ideas about what that means. What is a woman? So we have to define in any sort of realistic way what a woman is. It's kind of a loaded question, because it's not a question that has a simple answer. There's no one answer to that question. When I say trans women are women, I'm taking that from the protest chant that you might hear from trans rights demonstrations, because they'll say trans women are women, but that's not to say that they're ignoring biological reality. What they're doing is creating a cultural shorthand. So the majority of women, support trans rights because they recognise that trans women are discriminated by the same people that want to remove the rights, like abortion rights and lots of other health. It's like the idea of bodily autonomy is trying to be controlled. And when people are against trans people and trans rights, it comes down to like biological essentialism, like you've already mentioned. So it's kind of a control. You want to anchor what it is to be a woman to your flesh, to the flesh of yourself, which you can never do. Vagina and a penis are flesh. They're not things that can necessarily be, associated with male or female. And that's why also it's true that women can have penises.
Sarah, over to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's very interesting to hear Frida speak. What I gathered from what Frida was saying is that woman is some kind of performance art for Frida, and that to say that he is a woman is a deliberate provocation to get us thinking about the culture and what it means to be a woman. To that I would say, I wonder if the women and girls in Afghanistan denied an education and stoned to death for not wearing hijab would agree that woman was some sort of performance art.
Just to say, Sarah, I didn't say performance art, you said that.
Right, I thought we weren't going to have any interruptions, please. I didn't interrupt Frida. I'd like the courtesy of this time uninterrupted, please. The Equality and Human Rights Committee identified 8 separate issues where sex was a really powerful and necessary organising category. I'll just refer to 2. They said the right of lesbians to associate and women's safety in sports. We've just seen today, I think, Australia deny women, lesbians, the right to organise. What's more important is those men who wish to perform femininity are allowed into their spaces to wave their penises literally at them and say, if you don't do dick, you're a bigot. I wonder whether it is my disability that has inoculated me to this absolute fucking madness. I wear an artificial leg. It looks a bit like a leg. It does the same job as a leg in some respects, but it's not a real leg and it never will be. And it would have been disgusting and cruel to tell me as a child that I would ever have the possibility of 2 real legs. I would not. You say most women support the performance mantra that trans women are women. They don't. And recent polling has just shown that.
Great. Okay. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Frida.
First of all, so I'm sorry I interrupted Sarah. It's just because when people lie about you, it's difficult to listen to.
Well, I'm happy to answer Frida's question. I'll start by saying I don't hate you, Frida. I'm contemptuous of you. I'm getting quite angry in this space, and I was wondering why, and I think it is built on fear. Because I'm a disabled woman, those are 2 protected characteristics into which I cannot identify, out of which I cannot identify. If people are allowed into those characteristics on their word alone, then I will suffer for it. And it's my disability where that is the keenest fear. I am entitled to exclude the able-bodied from facilities which are offered to me for my benefit. Because if I let you in, then I don't have access to those facilities. If you park in my parking space, I cannot get where I'm going because my ability to walk is compromised. If you use my disabled toilets to dilate yourself in an airport and take photographs of it, you stop me using the facilities set up for my disability. Yes, you're damn right. I'm going to exclude the able-bodied from those spaces, and I'm going to exclude men from spaces for women only. I could exclude you, Frida Wallace, from a women-only therapy group for female victims of male sexual violence. And why could I do that? Because you are a man.
With Sarah, I find it difficult to divorce Sarah's link to Harry Miller. And Harry Miller is somebody that's been done like a speaking tour or something, where he's actually got a PowerPoint presentation with a picture of me where he gets people to laugh at me. It's Sarah and Robbie that have the gender ideology. I don't really care about. I just get on with my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't opt into it. Whereas, like I said before, Robbie and Sarah do opt into this kind of gender critical lifestyle, whatever it is.
Let me just deal with that. Frida, I've got to give you credit. You lie with such a fluency and ease. It's like breathing to you, isn't it? I'll remind you that Harry shared with me the messages that you sent to him. I know absolutely you're lying about that, and that's despicable that you're trying to paint Harry as someone who threatens you and makes you feel afraid. But I'll let Harry fight his own battles. I'll just point out that you've laid a trail in direct messages that I'm sure the police will be interested in seeing. I don't think I have anything more to say to you because I will not tolerate people wasting my time with active lies. It's 2054 and I'm going to leave this space now.
Can I just
but you
mention
try
that?
it, Frida
Can I speak
Wallace.
to that?
You try and make a complaint
Sarah,
about Harry Miller, and I hope he buries you.
listen.
Let me get into the summing up phase then, and hand over to. I'm going to go to Frida first to kind of sum up then your kind of points, and then we'll go over to Robbie and to Sarah. You've got a couple of minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I do know. I research this stuff, you know, from my blog. I've spent lots of my own personal private time looking into, you know, how these lobby groups are connected, and it can feel quite conspiratorial at times. But you know who Toby Young is, and you know who Andrew Doyle is, and these are the people that, you know, create these vexatious court cases to sell to the Daily Mail. And, you know, you've got to understand this: the gender critical machine is a publicity machine. It's a media driven thing. It's like in the Daily Mail this week, you know, you saw that the women that said they were cancelled, they're not cancelled, they're amplified, obviously, because they're in the Daily Mail. So don't give me that crap. This has got nothing to do with women's rights. We know that Let Women Speak has got nothing to do with letting women speak. It's about hating trans people.
Okay, I think that's going to be your time on that one. I mean, I was kind of hoping you were going to say some future ideas and thoughts that you had for, you know, solving the problem. But I'm going to go over to. I'm going to go.
I can do that.
Yeah.
When you say solving the problem, I mean, that sounds. I mean,
Bringing,
what
you know,
is the
moving
solution?
us
I'd
forward.
like to know what Sarah's final solution would be.
I'll tell you what my final solution is. We repeal the GRA. It's an appallingly drafted statute, apparently deliberately so, to inculcate this fudge between sex and gender, which has been so damaging and so harmful to our society. Get rid of it. That's my solution for how we all try and live in this world together. What we have at the moment is a tiny minority of privileged and entitled men trying to enforce their quasi-religious belief on the rest of us. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. And again, I do give credit to Frida Wallace for coming and taking part. It can't be easy to face what I accept is my undoubted hostility.
Okay, we're going to hand over. Where's he gone? I think he must have dropped out when I added him. Let me add someone else. I added David, but he's disappeared. A woman at large, would you like to speak?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was fast. Hi, guys. Yeah, I want to say brilliant. a brilliant debate, but I mean, there wasn't really, a lot of sort of points for you guys to counter. So we'll just, know that you guys came in good faith. And again, it was just a lot of sort of stories and irrelevant rambling.
Oh, God. Okay. Right. Did you want to come back, Frida? Let's not go off into... If they're not in the room, don't talk about them,
No,
okay?
I was talking to somebody that is in
New
the
rule,
room.
Frida. If
Isla,
they're not in the room,
can I just
Kelly's not
say?
here, neither's
Can I just
Flinner. Don't talk about them. Don't
no,
talk
but
about people who are not in the
can I
room.
just finish what I was saying about same-sex care?
Yes.
Yeah. So I realised that Henrietta was part of a network of people that a lot of them are in this room now, and their only focus is anti-trans commentary. So that's what I noticed, and I said, to be honest, Henrietta, I put on your notes that you don't like trans people, and it would be a problem, and you would cause. So, and Henrietta's not a child; she's a grown woman. She doesn't have to be mollycoddled. She can say exactly what she wants, and I can say, well, if you don't want that, this is how you get it. And I explained exactly how she could get what she wanted, and she didn't like it, and the followers didn't like it because it blew apart her argument.
Right. Driving, what we used to call, you drive ambulances, right? You have no idea.
Can I just stop you from you're supposed? Are you biased? Have you got a bias here? Because you're hosting.
Hold on,
you're showing a clear bias.
No. We're having a dialogue, and I'm answering the point about the question. You're not having the debate with Sarah and Robbie now. Okay, Sarah's gone. People just asking you questions about your broader topic. Okay. So I want to answer this point, right? You don't understand NHS policy, and when you said you were going to put a mark on this woman's notes, I think every right-minded individual on Twitter and beyond was rightly, absolutely livid with you that you would step out of yourself and to do this, right? Now,
well, can I just answer to that? Because I recognise that Henrietta Freeman is an anti-trans account. And you can't deny that, because she's boosted by Graham Linehan and Kelly J. Keane.
No, we don't do guilt by association here, I'm afraid.
Well, you do. Oh, that's
no,
convenient. You
we
usually
don't do.
You usually do when it's a trans person, Robbie. I
shit you not, Frida. Stop speaking if someone else is speaking, please.
No, well,
I will take you out. I want to remind everyone that I'm wanting a civil discourse here, and also do not mention people who are not in the room. I don't want to hear any more words about Standing for Women or anyone else. They are all our friends, and we respect them. And if they're not in the room and they're not here to talk about themselves, do not bring them up.
Hi, hello. I got two questions to Fred. The first one is, what do you think women owe to men who believe that they are women? And the second question is, I understand that you work for some sort of ambulance service for NHS. So in a theoretical scenario where you would be called to a miscarriage, and the caller would say that the caller is a trans woman, under what circumstances would you attend that call?
My gender or sex has got nothing to do with that. It's about helping.
Sorry, Fred. I think you sort of might have. I'm not sure. Maybe you misunderstood the question. My question was, the caller said that
the caller
is a trans woman, and you are being called to a miscarriage to that person.
Yeah, so you think women is something rooted and anchored to the womb?
Well, we've covered that. You answered the question. Let's move to the first question. What do you think women owe to men who believe that they are women?
Nobody owes anything to anybody.
Well, I rest my case.
Nobody has to respect the fact that I'm Frida, I'm female, and I'm legally so. Nobody has to respect that. That's your decision to make.